All right, let's dive into some really cool stuff today. We're looking at Director Kobayashi, and honestly, this guy's work is all over the place in the best way possible. Like, you've sent us commercials, a full-length movie, even some really out there experimental stuff.
Yeah, and what's amazing is how he blends it all together. You see that indie film sensibility in his big budget projects and this sharp, almost commercial edge to his personal work. It's a tough balance, but he pulls it off.
Totally. It's like he's figured out how to be both an artist and like a marketing guru at the same time. Speaking of mixing things up, this whole Rep-O-Matic thing on his website, can you explain what that's all about? I'm seeing a ton of them.
So the Rip-O-Matic has its roots in the advertising world, right? Like a really quick way to visualize ideas using pre-existing footage and sound. Imagine a mood board, but with video editing.
Okay, so almost like a first draft for a commercial.
Exactly.
But then you see something like his Better Call Koba project, and it's so much more than just a rough cut. I mean, Mike Snow music video, there's even that hilarious State Farm commercial, all mixed together to tell this completely bonkers story.
That's where Kobayashi takes this simple tool and turns it into an art form. He's not just throwing clips together randomly. There's a real method to it, this way of weaving a narrative, often with a good dose of humor.
And it gets even wilder. His website says that everything in Better Call Koba, the dialogue, the special effects, everything, it's all either pulled from other media or generated by AI. Could you imagine the legal hoops to clear the rights for that?
It really speaks to how much media production is changing, especially with AI becoming more common. Artists like Kobayashi aren't just using these new tools, they're pushing the limits, blurring the lines between found footage and making something totally new.
It's like he's remixing reality itself, you know? And here's the thing, that this is the same guy who worked on huge Hollywood films like The Golden Compass, right? We're talking top-of-the-line visual effects. And then he directs this indie comedy set in Milan. How do you even go from that to that?
It's a pretty impressive range, and I think it shows his versatility as a director. There's this quote on his website where he says he's passionate about huge, indie, tiny brands, and that really struck me. It's like the scale of the project doesn't matter as much as the creative challenge itself.
He's in it for the work, not the ego. I respect that. And get this, his Milan-based film, Only for the Weekend, actually premiered at some pretty big deal film festivals. He's not just some commercial director dabbling in indie films. He's got real credibility.
Exactly, and it points to something else we see in Kobayashi's work. He's constantly blurring the lines between what's considered commercial and what's considered art. Even in a project like 1 Week in Tokyo, which feels very personal, you see how he brings that artistic sensibility to client work.
Yeah, let's talk about 1 Week in Tokyo for a sec, because that one feels so personal, like a love letter to the city or something.
He actually says he wanted to capture those memories of Japan with this really frenetic energy, and then he uses AI to transform these everyday scenes like, walking down the street or people in a cafe into these almost dreamlike hallucinatory sequences.
Whoa, yeah.
You can really see his personal touch alongside those cutting-edge visuals.
It's like watching someone's vacation videos, but like way cooler.
Absolutely. And I think it's this willingness to experiment, to kind of like smash together genres and mediums that makes Kobayashi so interesting.
It's like he's not afraid to play, to get a little weird with it and just see what happens.
Right.
But it's not just about being different for the sake of it. There's a method to his madness, for sure.
He clearly knows what he's doing. But beyond the technique, the craft of it all, I think he's a storyteller at heart. And he's using whatever tools he can get his hands on, traditional filmmaking, visual effects, AI, whatever, to tell those stories in ways that really grab you.
Speaking of pushing boundaries, have we talked about how Kobayashi's blending art, tech, and marketing in his OMG teaser project?
Oh, yeah. That one's a trip.
Talk about a wild ride.
Yeah.
It's got this whole metaverse vibe going on.
Doesn't it?
Totally. It's like stepping into another world, and it's all to promote, digital art. It's kind of amazing.
Right. I mean, that's Kobayashi in a nutshell. He's working at this intersection of art, technology, and straight-up marketing, and it feels very intentional.
So to be clear, we've got this Rip-O-Matic master who's as comfortable with big-budget Hollywood special effects as he is with small indie comedies, and he's pushing the boundaries of AI in film.
Right.
That's a lot.
Well, that's kind of the point, isn't it? Kobayashi's work isn't just about one specific film or project. It's about asking bigger questions about where filmmaking is going next.
Okay, so if we're looking at his career like a crystal ball, what's it telling us? What's the future of film look like?
Well, just think about it. His comfort with remixing, like in those rip-o-matics and the AI-altered footage in 1 week in Tokyo,
Yeah.
it suggests this future where the line between what's real and what's made up, what's constructed, is going to get blurrier and blurrier.
So how do we even define original anymore when AI can create footage that's basically indistinguishable from reality? That's kind of scary, honestly.
It is a bit, yeah. I think for some people it's definitely unsettling, but for artists like Kobayashi, it seems like an exciting new challenge.
A whole new set of tools. And it's not just the visuals either, right? Like his Better Call Koba project used AI to recreate the dialogue too.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine the possibilities.
Better Call Koba.
Dubbing movies in any language, creating completely virtual actors.
The possibilities are pretty mind-blowing. A little scary maybe, but exciting too.
Okay, so we're potentially headed for a future where anyone with the right software can make a movie that looks and sounds like anything they can dream up.
Potentially.
But what does that actually mean for filmmakers, for audiences? Like, is that good or bad?
That is the question, isn't it? On the one hand, you could argue that it democratizes filmmaking.
Makes it more accessible.
Exactly. It could allow anyone with a story to tell to bring their vision to life without needing those massive Hollywood budgets to get those crazy special effects.
No more needing millions of dollars to make a cool sci-fi movie.
Right. But, of course, there's a flip side. It brings up some serious ethical questions about who actually owns the work, the potential for misuse. Think about deepfakes, for example.
That's a lot of power.
Exactly. And like they say...
With great power comes great responsibility.
There you go.
But where does Kobayashi fit into all of this? Is he just along for the ride with these new technologies, or is he trying to say something bigger?
I think he's definitely pushing the conversation forward. He's not afraid of those ethical questions. If anything, his work seems to be intentionally engaging with them, forcing us to really think about them.
Yeah, it feels like he's trying to make a statement, not just entertain.
I'd agree with that. He's not just asking how, but why. And that's a rare quality these days. Makes you think, you know.
So let me ask you this. If you had to sum up, what makes Kobayashi's work stand out? And I know we've covered a lot. What would you say it is? What makes it more than just, flashy visuals and mixing different genres?
I think a big part of it is his curiosity, He's not afraid to try new things, to experiment with these new tools and technologies, but he doesn't let them dictate the terms, if that makes sense.
Right.
He remembers that at the end of the day, technology is just that, a tool.
It's about the story you're telling.
Exactly. The story, the emotion, that's what really connects with people.
And you can see that in Kobayashi's work. Even when he's playing around with AI or putting together those crazy rip-o-matics, there's always this clear sense of purpose. He's crafting something, not just trying to be flashy.
He is. He's deliberate, even in his experimentation. And it brings up something else that I think is really important about his work, this idea of fluidity.
Yeah, we talked about those blurred lines between what's real and what's constructed with AI, but it's bigger than that, right?
Absolutely. It's the lines between genres, documentary, fiction, animation, between making art and making a living. Kobayashi's career is like a case study in embracing those possibilities, in leaning into change instead of shying away from it.
So the future of film is dot fluid. I like that. Okay, for anyone out there listening who's thinking, I want to be the next Kobayashi, it's not enough to just go out and buy the latest AI software, right? What's the secret ingredient?
It goes back to what we were just talking about. Heart, vision, a story worth telling. Those are the things that will never go out of style. Kobayashi shows that you can master the tools without losing your own voice as an artist.
In fact, maybe those tools can help you find your voice, make it even stronger.
Exactly.
Well, this has been amazing. Seriously, it's inspiring to see what Kobayashi's doing, how he's pushing the boundaries of what film can be.
It really makes you think about the future of art in general, right?
And I think on that note, the future of art will wrap up this deep dive.